There's been a lot of stuff going on in the news lately regarding the Baltimore, Maryland riots. So I guess like we've had having that right now, and then like recently, like last year, and I think part of it this year, we had the riots in Ferguson, Missouri, um, and we've kind of had a similar thing here. Um, I forget the name of the African American man that was killed in Ferguson, Missouri, by police. The cop who was not indicted. Um, I forget that boy's name or that guy's name. But then we have Freddie Gray in Baltimore, Maryland, who was also killed. Um, so, I guess trying not to have any racist stances here. I guess I want to try and cut at the difference between riot and protest, and how rioting should be responded to by law by law enforcement and by the community not involved in such rioting. Um, Same within Baltimore, Maryland, as in Ferguson, Missouri. You had this, and also it kind of you also see a similar thing, even in Hurricane Katrina, um, but it's I'm mostly talking about Missouri and Maryland here. Um, you had, following the death of Freddie Gray and the death of the African American man in Missouri, I forget his name. We have a lot of rioting, not protest, but rioting and looting also. So I guess I want to talk more about the Maryland thing right now. There are videos of people in Maryland throwing bricks and just destroying property, destroying people's cars, just like burning a CVS pharmacy, just destroying things. And they will say it's for Freddie Gray. Let's do this for Freddie Gray. But they're burning somebody's car or destroying somebody's car, just destroying somebody's house, or destroying something that of somebody who didn't do any of who didn't kill Freddie Gray or didn't do any of that, and are burning a CVS in their own neighborhood, and the truth, I guess what I'm thinking is are they really doing that for Freddie Gray? Are they really burning a CVS for Freddie? Are they really destroying some regular guy's car for Freddie Gray? Are they really doing that for Freddie Gray, or do they just see a reason to riot and to loot and just do it and destroy everything? That's just like, I feel like, we have one side of the issue of people who see the issue as people who are misguided and lost and are acting out because they're oppressed. And then we have the other side who realizes the truth that these people are not doing any of this for Freddie, and they finding a reason to loot and to riot and are doing it. And I don't understand how they could be doing that for Freddie. I don't understand how they could be doing it for Freddie, because that doesn't help bring him back at all. You're just destroying somebody else's property for no good reason. And in my opinion, that is rioting and that is looting, and that has nothing to do with protest. And rioting and looting, no matter what the reason, no matter what the race, should be met with by law enforcement, because like the people doing that rioting complain about how they're being mistreated by police, and about how they are being mistreated, and how they are being met with cops wearing riot gear, and how that's all unjustified. No, you're destroying things that don't belong belong to you or the person who killed Randy Gray, or it doesn't help anything. And the cops are right for responding to the situation with riot gear and with strict and with tear gas and stuff like that. That's the right way to go about rioters and looters. So, and I see those people as thugs, and I guess the mayor of Baltimore doesn't call them that, and then recanted that statement by saying that they're misguided individuals. Yes, that's true, but they are also thugs. They're also just thugs. And in my opinion, if you see somebody destroying somebody else's property for no reason, or if you see that happening, or if somebody comes to destroy your house or your property, they should be met with a shotgun. That's the way I see it. That you shouldn't try to protect these people with political correctness. You shouldn't try to say, oh, they're just acting out because they're oppressed. No, they're acting out, and they are acting out not for Freddy, but it's not even for Freddy. I don't understand why they are acting, but it's definitely not for Freddy Gray, because none of that brings Freddy back. It doesn't help anything, and it should be responded to with riot gear by cops and by vigilant citizens who, if their property were to if somebody were to trespass or to destroy their property, they should be met with a shotgun and say, hey, leave now, or I'm gonna shoot you. Or I see that as a justified reaction if somebody's trying to destroy your property or trespass on your property. Yeah, I think that's a shotgun is the right way to respond to it. And I hate all these people, and I can't stand all these people being trying to be politically correct and trying not to piss people off. I'm trying to protect these people's right to riot, which there is none. You have a right to protest, not a right to riot. Protesting is different. If you read Henry David Thoreau's Civil Disobedience, that's still a disobedience, but if you want to protest, that's a better way to go about it. Protest is a peaceful act. It's a peaceful act saying to the government that we don't like what has been happening, and we want it to be changed. We want compensation, or we want some kind of change. That's what protesting is. People with signs, even shouting or whatever. That is peaceful protest. But rioting is completely different. Rioting and looting, that's thug activity, and should be met with riot gear. Should be met with shotguns or pistols. You don't act that way. You do not act like an animal. You don't do that, and you should receive consequences for acting that way. And I can't stand people trying to protect people, trying to say, oh, they're just oppressed and they're acting out because they're oppressed, and all this frankly bullshit. Excuse me, but it is. There is a big difference between riot and protest. And what those people are doing in Maryland by burning buildings and destroying people's cars and throwing bricks is not protest. That is rioting and looting, and basically acts of thugs, basically, and that should be met with a appropriate response.